Hello everyone, what is up and welcome back to the channel iRumors. First of all, before we start, I want to say that today's video is not for everyone. This is going to be about those who collect tech products. It just doesn't have to be just Apple products or just doesn't have to be a specific brand itself. You all know that I do a lot of reviews about different tech products, be it MacBooks, be it laptops or phones. But after the review, I don't sell my products away. I usually keep them. It's just not my habit for me to sell my tech products. Okay? My main devices, my MacBooks or my phones or watches, those when I gradually upgrade over the time, I tend to sell them and then I tend to upgrade. But other than that, let's say you all have seen my 2009 iMac review, you have seen my iPhone 2G reviews and all my older phone reviews, all that I do keep the devices with me even once the review is done. But recently I have been facing a few problems in keeping these devices. If you talk about the phone category, my phones have started failing. I don't really understand why, but my phones have just been having a lot of issues recently. And it's not just my phones, even my MacBooks are having a lot of issues. But let's talk about it fully in this video. This video is just going to be me mainly reaching on all of you, mainly the collectors, to see if you all have any suggestions on how maybe we can make this device last longer. If you all have any advices to give me, then do, of course. So without further ado, let's get started right into this video. So the first part of this video is going to be about phones. So firstly, as you all know that I'm an active phone collector. Not just iPhones, but I do collect some other rare phones. Technically, my iPhones are not disintegrating. It's just that they are really having a lot of issues right now. And I just want to concentrate mainly on these two iPhones right over here. The iPhone 6 and the iPhone 8. Because these are the ones that have been giving me the most amount of problem. The iPhone 6 and the iPhone 8, I've repaired them multiple times. When I first got it, I changed the battery once, and once the battery was replaced, it was working fine for about 2 years. And now I recently did a small repair on the motherboard, changing the battery once again. So even though the battery was still at 90%, there was still some other issues with the battery. The phone kept shutting down. I had to replace the battery. And as for this phone I think I've probably done a motherboard repair twice on this phone, and the battery repair has also been done twice. When I repaired the motherboard, they said that this was due to a short circuit. I'm not sure how the short circuit happened. The battery, I would say, I tried finding for an original battery, but I couldn't find it. So I had to go for an aftermarket battery. I have to change the second battery within like 1 week after changing the first battery. After the battery replacement, the battery is at 100% right now. At the bottom has a slight burn-in. I'm not sure how many of you can see. When on a normal really white bright display, burn-in from the side is pretty obvious. There's this small slight yellow shade. I think after some time I do have to replace it, but for now it's actually in a working condition, so I'm not really considering on replacing that. Other than these two iPhones, I do have another iPhone 5S2, and that was my very first iPhone that I got. And that phone, tragic story, because I repaired the motherboard on that phone 3 times, the battery I changed it twice, and after a while the phone was at a point where it could not be repaired at all. When I brought it to the shop, they said that they couldn't repair the phone at all. They said that the screen is dead, the motherboard has some issues, and the home button wasn't working. So even if I want to repair it, the touch ID on the phone is not going to work. So after a while, the phone was just a piece of brick. I had to just take out the battery and I just kept it. When buying that phone, it wasn't a brand new, it was a refurbished phone, and I got it for around $200, and the repair that I spent on this phone was more than $300 plus just to repair that phone. Yep, not a worthy investment, but since it was my first iPhone, I just had to go and try to save it, but I couldn't save it. And this is despite me regularly charging and regularly maintaining these phones. And sometimes the battery just goes flat fully, but most of the time I just try to keep it at like a 30 to 80% range, just try to maintain it, make sure it doesn't overcharge and things like that. But when you have a lot of phones, I guess it's not really that easy to maintain. Now on to the main reason that I wanted to even do this video was my MacBooks. Let's take a look at the MacBooks and then we shall talk about it. Yeah, this is the first ever Intel MacBook that came out, and this is my iBook G4. Okay, so why am I focusing on this MacBook from the bottom is because, as you all can see here, if I bring the camera closer, you all can see that there is a lot of white color residue at the bottom. This entire aluminum part over here has this hole because when I got rid of the residue, it left a hole. And yep, this is the screen. Don't be surprised by the screen. If you all have watched my previous video, you all know the screen was kind of bad when I first got it, but the screen isn't the issue right now, because as you all can see here, that this entire part of this MacBook, there's all this residue that's coming off on the MacBook. I'm not really sure where it's coming off. At the power button, there's these white color residues, and there's all these stains on my MacBook. You can see there's an entire stain over here. These stains are not that visible off camera when you look at the normal lighting, but on camera they look even more obvious. And coming back to my iBook G4, I'm not really sure what the issue is. Everything was working perfectly fine, and just one day it just decided not to turn on at all. I tried to plug it in, I tried to do everything I can, but it just wouldn't turn on. The MacBooks, I don't turn them on as often as my phones because it's not that feasible. I don't try to turn it on once in a while to just keep them running and just make sure that they're in a working condition. But currently, all these MacBooks and phones are just failing in just a very short duration. So I'm not really sure why. I've been keeping them for years right now, so I'm not really sure why the issue is like that. So I'm currently now reaching out to all the collectors or everyone that's collecting phones, whichever devices y'all are collecting. Are you all facing the same issue? What is it? Do let me know if y'all are facing the same issues or if y'all have any solutions to that. I'm not sure why the reason is. I'm really trying to maintain it, but it just keeps on failing. So if any of y'all have any idea why it's happening, you don't have to be a collector, but even if you know, leaving it in the comments below will really help me a lot. And this is also the main reason why I'm not doing a lot of laptop or MacBook related content, and that is because I'm kind of afraid to even buy any more tech, because I'm going to be buying, and if everything is just going to be failing, I don't see the purpose of me just buying and wasting my money away. But that being said, some devices are still working well, just like my 2009 iMac that I got. That is working perfectly fine. We recently even changed the RAM just because it's spoiled, and it's working perfectly fine. I'm still using it to watch YouTube videos and things like that, but the bigger picture, the problem still persists. So if I manage to find a solution for this, a perfect solution for this, I'll definitely be getting more tech on this channel, and we're going to be doing our usual reviews back again. If y'all can help me, do leave it in the comments below. I really do appreciate the help. So that being said, that's actually been it for this video. A pretty basic and pretty short one. If y'all want to watch more future contents, don't forget to click the like button, don't forget to get subscribed, and turn on your notifications so you get notified whenever I post a video. Of course, y'all know we do a lot of reviews, phone testings, laptop reviews, and much more. If y'all want to be the first one to watch that, do remember to turn on the notifications. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch all of you in the next one. Bye bye.